In this section, we will review menu requirements, meal count procedures, cost documentation, and monitoring requirements. Let's look at menu requirements using the Child Meal Planning Guide and Infant Meal Planning Guide. Menu requirements state that the menu must be posted in a visible location within your center. The menu must also be dated. Let's take a closer look at our posted menu. We can clearly see that all the required components for breakfast are listed. Be sure when listing your whole grains that you mark them clearly in the box provided. Homemade items must be indicated by writing HM next to them. Cereal type must be specified. Milk type must also be specified. The Child Meal Planning Guide is a useful tool to use to create a menu. Let's create one together. At the top, you would want to put your center name and the date. What makes the Child Meal Planning Guide so unique is that it also includes the meal component and serving size. Let's complete breakfast together. That was easy. For breakfast, we made sure that we included the milk type, marked all whole grains, specified the type of fruit or vegetable we served, and on Thursday and Friday we served a meat or meat alternate instead of a grain. Let's complete lunch and supper. Again, we made sure that we specified the type of milk we served and marked all whole grains. Let's continue with snack. That was easy. The Infant Meal Planning Guide can be completed much like the Child Meal Planning Guide. At the top, you want to provide your center name as well as the date. On the Infant Meal Planning Guide, you want to be sure that you complete all available fields. This does not mean that each item was served, it simply means that all the required items are available when the child is developmentally ready. All children under 12 months of age must have an infant formula choice form on file at your center and at Child Care Resources. This form is completed and signed by the parent and is used to notify parents that they have the option of using center's formula. If your center has children under 12 months enrolled, you must allow them to participate in the Child and Adult Care Food Program. Let's complete the infant formula choice form together. At the top, the center will provide their name and address. The first paragraph states the type of formula that the center provides. Parents have 4 options. The first option is that they will use the center's formula. The second is that they will use their own formula, and they must write the type of formula that they will provide. The next option is that they will use breast milk. And the fourth option is that their infant is 4 months or older and developmentally ready for baby food. The form should include the child's name, date of birth, parent's signature, and date. Now that we know how to complete menus, let's look at how to record those meals that we serve. Let's take a closer look at the weekly attendance and meal count worksheet. Child Care Resources will provide you with a weekly attendance and meal count worksheet to record attendance and meal counts. Attendance must be marked if the child is present during any meal service. Meal counts must be recorded at the point of service. Use only dark pens, no pencils. Make neat dark black X's in the center of the box, making sure to stay within the lines. For a new child, or if a child is eating in a different classroom and is not listed on the worksheet of the classroom the child is eating in, simply neatly write the child's first and last name by hand on the next available row. To make corrections, use only whiteout. no stray marks. Sign and date worksheet before submitting. The type of meal service your center provides will dictate the type of meal service your center performs. There are two types of meal service: unitized and family style. Unitized meal counts must be marked as each child is served their entire meal, including the milk. Meal counts must be completed during meal service, not before or after meal service. Family style meal counts must be marked once all of the creditable items in the correct quantity is set on the table. Children can serve themselves or have assistance from teachers. Now that we know how to complete the weekly attendance and meal count worksheet, let's complete one together. We have a new child enrolled in our program today. Let's go ahead and write their name in on the next available line. Now let's go ahead and mark all of our children that are in attendance. And let's mark breakfast at the point of service. And let's mark lunch and PM snack. At the end of the week, we want to be sure that whoever completed this form signs and dates it. Now let's take a look at what is needed to show cost documentation. Programs must document that 100% of their funds are spent on food service. At least 50% of funds must be spent on food. The other 50% can be spent on food service supplies, staff that assists with the CACFP, that would include your cooks, teachers, and directors, and other food-related costs. One way to document costs is with receipts and invoices. Receipts should have the store name, date, and total. Do not mark through any items on your receipt. Child Care Resources will subtract any items that are not reimbursable. A staff and time duty worksheet should be kept by all staff performing CACFP duties. Each staff member that performs Child and Adult Care Food Program duties should complete a staff time and duty worksheet. Let's complete one together. At the top, you would need to provide your employee name, position, month, and year. Write in the dates for each day Child and Adult Care Food Program duties were performed. Enter the times worked for Child and Adult Care Food Program related duties for each meal period. Cross out days that you did not work. Add up all hours and calculate total at the bottom. Be sure to sign the form and have your supervisor also sign the form. Now that you know all of the rules and through 5 years old. Unflavored, low-fat, unflavored, fat-free, or flavored, fat-free milk must be served to children 6 years old and older. Milk substitutions are allowed for non-disability medical or special dietary need. Medical statement is not required if the milk substitution is nutritionally equivalent to cow's milk. The request must be made in writing. A medical statement is required when a disability requires a non-dairy beverage that is not nutritionally equivalent to cow's milk. Now that we've reviewed the 5 meal components, let's see how we can use those meal components to create meals and snacks. Breakfast components consist of fruits and/or vegetables, grains, and milk. Here's a closer look at the breakfast meal patterns. Meat and meat alternates may be used to substitute the entire grain component a maximum of 3 times per week. Let's take a look at the lunch and supper components. Fruits, grains, meat alternate, vegetables, and milk are all required components for lunch and supper. Here's a closer look at the lunch and supper meal patterns. The requirements below are minimum requirements. This means that at least the minimum amount must be served for each required component. Again, milk, meat alternates, vegetables, fruits, and grains are all required components for lunch and supper. Snack components consist of 2 of the 5 meal components. When selecting snack items, make sure there are 2 of the 5 components. If your center serves children under the age of 12 months, pay close attention to the infant meal pattern. You will see that there are only 2 age groups now, 0 to 5 months and 6 to 11 months. Let's take a closer look at some infant meal requirements. Infant formula and dry infant cereal must be iron fortified. Yogurt must contain no more than 23 grams of sugar per 6 ounces. Fruit and vegetable juices must not be served to infants. Nursing mothers. Child Care Resources will visit your center at least 3 times a year to verify that nutritious meals are being served and that the records you keep are accurate. When we visit, we will check for the following. We will make sure that all meal components are present for the meal. All of the right quantities are present for each child. That every child is provided a meal. That meal counts are recorded at the point of service. The menu is posted and dated. Both the Building for the Future and Justice for All poster are displayed. Besides Child Care Resources staff, federal or state employees may visit your site to verify meals and records. Now, I mentioned the And Justice for All poster, but we haven't talked much about it. Every center participating in the CACFP must display the And Justice for All poster in a prominent location within their center. This poster is issued by the USDA and has the Civil Rights Statement on it, which outlines the protected classes. The Building for the Future poster must be displayed in a conspicuous area within your center. This poster just clearly states that your center participates in the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The Building for the Future flyer must be distributed to all parents and guardians. This flyer just states that your center again participates in the Child and Adult Care Food Program. A good way to distribute is